What if you could run your own powerful AI model for free without ever sending your private data to a big tech company like OpenAI and Google? What if you could build your custom AI agent that are perfectly tailored for your specific need using the model designed for specific tasks like coding, writing, or any kind of analysis? Today, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process for downloading an open source model from Studio, then expose it to internet, and then connect it to n8n AI agent. For years, we relied on API from giant like OpenAI or Google, and they are amazing, but they come to the cost. The privacy questions you need to answer relates to how your data is being managed. And then the models are really good, very powerful model, however, but not specialized in a particular task. You can actually use an open source AI model which is cost effective. The models are actually free. Data, it's private and secure. The data is processed on your machine and it never leaves your machine. It's a game changer for sensitive information. It gives you an option so you can use a smaller and specialized model that are incredibly fast and efficient for your specific job. And you can even fine tune them, creating a version of AI that's uniquely yours. Today, we're going to take a powerful open source model, run it in our computer, expose it to the internet safely, and integrate it with n8n to build our very own powerful AI agent. So stick around. By the end of this video, you'll be able to download an open source model through LM Studio. Then you'll be able to expose it to internet safely, and then you'll be able to connect that model to your n8n agent, which is free. You don't have to pay any cost. It'll be very private and secure, and the data will never leave your computer. So if that interests you, stick around, and I'll take you through step by step. So let's get started. All right, here's our toolkit for today. First one is LM Studio. This is our library and playground for discovering, downloading, and running hundreds of open source models. Think of this as a marketplace for open source models. So once you download the LM Studio, you'll be able to browse through various models, you'll be able to see what they're specialized for, and you can actually download them and start utilizing them. Next, we'll be using a tunnel service through Pingy. These are actually what I call them is a magic tunnel. That creates a secure, temporarily public URL for your service running on your computer, making it accessible to the outside world. And finally, n8n. So this is our automation platform where we're building our automation or agent, and we'll be connecting our agent to our open source model, which we'll be downloading through LM Studio. So first thing first, head down to lmstudio.ai. That's where we'll be shopping for our AI model. Once you head down there, you can actually sign up, or you don't have to sign up for downloading the LM Studio for your operating systems. For me, it's Windows, so I'll be downloading the Windows one. But before you download, you can head down to the model tab, and you can see what are some of the open source models they currently have in LM Studio. And then you can check out the docs. They have a really good documentation. If you have some time, go through it, and I'm sure you'll be learning something new. So they got the API catalog, the system requirement at a very high level. You'll be needing at minimum, if you're running in Windows, so you'll be needing a Windows 64-bit, and also as in terms of memory point of view, I believe it was a 16 gigabytes somewhere in here. The RAM, it's a 16 gigabytes, and GPU at least 4 gigabytes of dedicated virtual RAM is recommended for Windows. So it depends on your PC, or depends on your operating system, or depends on your system. Just have a look at that and make sure that you have that minimum. Then also it talks about offline operation. The good thing is that if you're running an open source model on your computer, you actually don't need an internet, so you can run it without a Wi-Fi. So imagine you're traveling on an airplane for 8 to 10 hours, you can actually continue to work using the offline model. And then just have a look through. It can also integrate with the MCP server. So there's some good information there. So I'll be downloading that for Windows. It'll takes for me showing 2 minutes. So once it's downloaded and installed, I'll come back to it. Once the download is finished, then you install the LM Studio on your computer, and that's what you'll be able to see. On the left hand side, you can chat. Obviously, once you download the model, you'll be able to chat, same as the way you currently do with ChatGPT or Claude. You can actually chat with the model. Then you have the developer option section. We will come back to that bit later. Then you have this option where you have a model directory. So as you can see, there's 2 models already showing in here because I have already downloaded 2. And then you have in here is the discovery, where you'll be able to go and find the model. So in here is like, and you can obviously search a model, or you can just go through and find the right model you're looking for. For example, if you wanted to, let's pick one, Gamma 3N E4B. You can see that this is a model card, which basically talks about the model and its capability, its vision. So it's mean that it's got an OCR capability where it's able to read images. It's got the size, it's got the parameters 6.9 billion, and the size of the model is 4.24 gigabyte. So the rule of thumb is if the model is 4.24 gigabyte, you want to make sure that your computer has at least 6.5 gigabyte free RAM memory to operate this model on your computer. So the way I do is basically the size of the model plus 2 gigabytes to make sure that it runs smoothly. Then you get the Mistral. So the other thing is you can see there's a hammer sign there and there's one. So in the DeepSeek, the hammer signs mean that the model is capable of tool use, and the green one is it's a reasoning. So the model is also get the capability of reasoning itself. So yeah, so once you're ready, you can actually download that. For me, I already have that. Once you're done downloading, go back to the main chat and select a model. So if you select a model, it takes a couple of seconds to load, depends on the size of the model. So let it load. So once the model has loaded successfully, now you can actually chat with the model directly. As you can see, it's lagging a little bit. The speed depends on the computer or the hardware you currently have. So the more RAMs you'll have and the more powerful GPU you will have, then it'll be more smoother. So then next what you need to do is connect this model to our n8n AI agent. Before we jump into our next step, I just wanted to quickly go back to show you the developer page. So this is the developer page. There are a few information we need to use it later in the process. The first one is that the model is reachable at this IP address and this port number. So these are the IP address and this is the port number. But again, this IP address is a local IP address. You cannot talk to the model from outside using this IP address. You can only communicate with this model if you're running an n8n locally. So you have the same, then on the bottom, you can also see the API endpoint. So they're the same IP address and then the model's chat completion. And these are the API we need to use in n8n to talk to this model. But again, we will replace this local IP address with a different IP address where we'll be able to use it. We'll be able to connect with it from on here. You also have some models information. So the size of the model, then its capability. It can use a tool, and then context point of view. We don't need to do that much. We don't have to do anything on context. But then inference is where you can actually adjust some of the model settings. For this video purposes, just going to leave as it is, but I do have a separate video which I'm going to link in here where I go through each of the settings and what that means and how you should be setting this up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So then next we're going to head down to this service called Pinggy. This service called Pingy. It's basically will create a tunnel which will expose our model to the internet and then safely. And so it will expose our model safely to the internet, and that's why we will be able to log into n8n and connect our AI agent to the model. In terms of pricing point of view, I'm currently on the free plan, and this is more than enough. So once you sign up, go to the dashboard. So once you're in the dashboard, that's what you'll be able to see. What I need is we're going to go back to Studio, and I wanted to copy this information and then go back to the dashboard and paste it in here in the local address. And then what you got to do is just got to copy this massive code and go back to terminal. So this is the terminal. Just simply paste the code and enter. So it does ask for a password, but I didn't set any password. So just click enter. It will go through. And this is the link what we will need for our agent to access to our model. Okay, we'll keep that aside. Then head down to n8n, create a workflow. We're going to start with the chat trigger, then AI agent. In the model section, we'll be using OpenAI model. The reason being, LM Studio uses the same architectural structure as OpenAI. So let me show you. So go to the new credential, API key deleted. So remember the keys we received. This is the one. Copy that URL, come back here, paste it just before the V1. API key, just put some random number, it doesn't really matter, and then save. You can see that the successful, you can see the green connection tested successfully, and then change it to save. There you go. So now just let's test it. Open chat. It's communicating with our model. So if you go back to your LM Studio, okay, before I go back to LM, so it's already came back to I'm a model developed through a collaboration between Mistral AI and VTR. So obviously it's talking to a self-hosted model in our computer. If you look at it, it took 12 seconds and 30 token. So if you go back to LM Studio, you'll be able to see that the communication, as you can see, yeah. Let's change the name. You talk more. I said, there you go. This time it only took 8.7 seconds, only 23 token. If you go back to LM Studio, where's the LM Studio? If you go back to LM Studio, you can see that, yeah, what do you call it, fake doodles. So it depends on the outcome you're getting. You can actually adjust the temperature or all the other settings, structure output, and then you can actually get it to provide you a valid JSON output if you want it. Quick recap that we use LM Studio to download a powerful open source model. Then we use Pingy to create a secure public tunnel to expose our model to the web internet. And then we use our n8n AI agent to connect and put it to work. In just a few minutes, we built a private and very cost-effective and incredible flexible AI system. I will also have a step-by-step guide in the description for free. You can click the link and download it for yourself for future reference. If you do like the video, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comment what are you going to build using these systems. Make sure you subscribe for more n8n tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.